Hi guys, today we're going to be looking at a clock reaction which is famous for its dramatic colorless to blue color change. It is often used in chemistry courses in order to explore the rate of which reactions take place. It is a perfect experiment in order to really record the time in which the blue complex appears and also allow us to see the rate of reaction and to see how accurate it is when we do look at it at a stopwatch. In this experiment, the rate law of a reaction can easily be determined by using the initial rates. What this means is that the effect of the concentration on the rate of this reaction can be determined by measuring the initial reaction rate at several reactant concentrations. We'll be able to examine the effect of a metal ion catalyst and what it basically does to the reaction rate of a chemical reaction. We will also be able to investigate the effect of temperature on the rate of a reaction, which will allow us to determine the activation energy that is present. For today, I already completed this step for the temperature, so we're just going to be looking at it step by step. So things that we're going to be needing. We're going to be needing some distilled water. Tap water will also work. So if you have tap water, that is fine. We're going to be needing a couple plastic cups. I'm using clear glass just because I wanted to see the reaction better. We're going to be using 1,000 milligram vitamin C tablets. You can also use 500 milligram tablets, but you just need to make sure that you use 4 instead of 2. You're going to be needing iodine, hydrogen peroxide, as well as cornstarch. So let's get started. So first we're going to make our vitamin C solution, which is going to be solution A, by using some tablets of vitamin C. So I have 500 milligram tablets, so because of that, I need to crush up 4. So let's go ahead and crush these. So the reason why we're crushing them is because it will allow, sorry about that, because it will allow the tablets to dissolve quicker than what we need them to. The second thing is we want to crush them to the point where there's not that many clumps in the solution. That way we can use the effect to the best of our ability, which this might take a couple seconds. Alrighty, so once you've crushed your, which is right there, once you've crushed your vitamin C, you're going to add it to water. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of mix it around until it dissolves as much as you can. This step I did before the experiment just because I had to use a coffee filter in order to filter out the rest of the clumps that was left in my solution. So at the end of the coffee filter, your solution will look something like this. So the next step that we're going to be doing is we are going to add our iodine, which was in this bottle. We're going to add our iodine. Oh, there we go. To our solution. My iodine is actually colorless, but if it was not colorless, you would see the reaction between vitamin C, water, and iodine make it colorless. So my iodine is in here, so we're going to be adding our iodine. Just like that. And if it was not clear, this would become colorless, of course. Alrighty, so once that is complete, also, if you use color iodine and it does not become unclear, it's probably because you didn't use enough vitamin C. So be sure you use the correct amount. Once we're done with this, we're going to add some water to our solution. Just like that. Alrighty. So now we're going to prepare solution B. Solution B is going to require us to use some starch. So let's do, let me just grab a spoon real quick. Alrighty, so what you're going to do is you're going to add some starch to your water, which is right here. It says half a teaspoon. I do basically half a teaspoon. Add it to our solution. And then of course we're gonna have our water. And then once this is complete, we're gonna make our solution boil. The reason for that is because it's actually going to, let me just mix this together, gonna make the solution clearer. So I will be right back. I'm gonna boil it real quick and then we'll be right back. And we're back. I apologize for that. So now that we have our cornstarch and our water, as you can see, it's still a little steamy, it's gonna allow it to become a little bit clearer. So now our next step is we're gonna take our hydrogen peroxide, which I have right here, and we're gonna add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide to our solution. Just like that. Alrighty. Then, here comes the cool part, or hopefully it works. We're going to be pouring solution A, which is our mix, and we're going to be pouring solution B into a third cup. We're going to try and pour our best, or do our best to pour them evenly, and then we're just going to wait for the color to change. And then, while that is being done, I will explain what is taking place. Alrighty. And let's see what happens here. Oops, I can already see a little bit of a color change. As you can see, the color has already been changing up top here. Okay, so what is happening? Or what should happen, I should say. There are actually two chemical reactions that is going to take place at the exact same time when we combine the solutions. During these reactions, two forms of iodine will be created, and the element will form to form iodine. It's actually boiling a little bit, which is interesting. So let's see what happens. In reaction 1, we have iodide ions that will react with hydrogen peroxide to produce an iodine element, which will actually end up being blue. And in the presence of starch, that's what creates our blue element. But before that can actually happen, the vitamin C will quickly react to the iodine that we added and will consume the element iodide, which I think is happening right now because it is boiling a little bit. So the next thing is the net result, or at least part of the time, the solution will remain colorless with excess of iodide ions being present, and that's what's happening right now. Now, after a short time, as the reactions will keep processing in this fashion, the vitamin C will get gradually used up. Once the vitamin C is used up, the solution will actually end up turning blue, and now the iodine element and starch are present. So that's what we should be noticing. As you can see, the vitamin C tablets are currently being used up. But one thing that I do think is going to be an error for my presentation is that I used colored vitamin C tablets. I do hope that this does not change the effect of the reaction, but we will see how it plays out. I know that there's spots that have already changed blue. However, I do not know if it's truly going to occur while this video is pressing forward. Other than that, that is how you do it. Again, the color that you should be seeing is a change from colorless water to a change from dark blue black water. Other than that, I wish you guys all the best and good luck for the rest of your course.